Hey everybody, it is late at night and I am Norman. I used to own a Zeno Bauhaus Winder, and that watch had an absolutely brilliant Bauhaus dial design on it. It had white hands and white Batten markers, no minutes track at all, and a sub-seconds. That almost looked like crosshairs. I absolutely love that design. It's more Bauhausy than any watch that I own. Even though the Stowe is a pretty famous Bauhaus watch, and the Max Bill takes all of its cues from Max Bill designed clocks, this one just screamed Bauhaus. But the watch was so large. The case was cylindrical, it was only 7mm thick, the crystal was flat, so it wore like a 42 or 43mm watch, and that's why I let it go. However, I've been missing that design so much. I've pondered getting one of Zeno's midi-sized ones, but those are only 32mm, and with this design, I'm pretty sure even that size would be way too small for me. So I looked on eBay, and I did find a piece that looked just like the Zeno, but even better because it didn't have the sub-seconds, but they were asking for $2,000 for it. That was a vintage piece at about 35mm. But man, $2,000? I don't think so. So I got online and started hunting around to see what was out there that maybe I overlooked, and I found a piece. It's a Nordgreen, and it's super affordable. So I bought one, and it's here tonight, so let's review it. Alright, so here's the box that it shipped in. We have Nordgreen on there with their logo and a little pull tab. It's quartz, so it had a little tab to keep the battery from running. So here's the watch, and the first thing you notice, these markers and hands are silver. I apparently didn't look close enough on their website. It looked like the hands and the hour markers were white, with potentially silver markers for the minutes track. So this is not an alternative to the Zeno Bauhaus Winder at all, but it sure does look an awful lot like the Nomos Orion Anthracite, as you can see. Yeah. The cool thing about this watch is it came to me straight from Denmark, and it arrived in a matter of days. This is a very affordable watch. I got this on the leather strap, so it was about $150. And this strap is nice and pliable. It's not cardboardy and stiff. It looks great on this watch. We have some branding there on the buckle. It's an 18mm wide strap, just genuine leather. Some more branding there, and quick release, which is cool. Unlike the Orion, the lugs on this watch are very short and kind of hidden beneath the case there. The case is thin and elegant. It's not chunky like a lot of contemporary watches are. A lot of vintage sensibilities here. The crown is small, but again, it's a quartz piece, so you're not going to be using it terribly often. Let's see what it's like to use that crown. And I'll try and keep the dial in some decent light here. It's really dark, as you can see. Yeah, nice and smooth, decent amount of resistance. Not bad at all. Now on their website, they don't list the crystal material or the exact movement inside this, or even the exact case material. I'm assuming it's stainless steel, and for the price and the fact that they didn't list it, I assumed that this crystal was mineral. However, if we look at the case back, there's some information around this ring here. And look at what it says right here. This watch has a sapphire crystal. That is amazing. Which is awesome because you may have noticed that this crystal does some really cool distortions and stuff. It's domed enough to mess with that and catch the light. I mean, this crystal immediately caught my eye when I was putting this watch on for the first time. I really like that crystal, and it's so cool that it's actually sapphire. And at this price point, that is really cool. You can see that the Batten markers are a bit short on this piece, and I thought that would bother me, but it doesn't look too bad in person. It's crazy how the minutes markers are even more subtle, which is also why I thought for sure those hour markers and hands were white. I should have watched the videos that they had on their site, then I would have known. But I'm glad I got this because I feel like I now am aware of a potential alternative to the Orion. The hands are stick hands. I mean, it's very Bauhaus. Let's get a closer look at that dial. Even the minutes track is applied. This is a $150 watch. And just look at the quality. That is pretty crazy. And it's so great that it's a two-hander since it's quartz. Just makes it classy and even more Bauhausy. It is definitely a difficult watch to film though, because it's so dark, everything just kind of vanishes. And when you look at it, that's the impression you get, that it's a pitch black dial with nothing on it, because those markers vanish so easily. Pretty crazy. As for the specifications on this watch, the case size is 36 millimeters, the case height is only 6.7 millimeters, the lug to lug is 38 millimeters, the lug width is 18 millimeters, the crystal is sapphire, and the movement inside this watch is a Japanese quartz movement. Being a dress watch, it only has 30 meters of water resistance. Alright, so let me take off my vintage Movado Museum, and we'll see what this watch is like when you're wearing it. And here's the Nordgreen Native black dial on my 7-inch wrist. This watch wears pretty large for its size. However, I think you can get these in 40 millimeters as well. So if you have larger wrists and you like this watch, you can go for one of those. That crystal is just amazing. I did not expect that at all. It's a great looking dress watch. Definitely wears like a 40 millimeter. As you can see there, it looks pretty large on my wrist. Case is great looking. It's so thin. And that domed crystal gives it a nice elegance. Really enhances the elegance that it already has. This is a brilliant watch for how affordable it is. You're really getting a lot of watch for that price. I mean, everything on there is applied except for the text. Sapphire crystal, Japanese quartz two-hander, absolutely brilliant. I am really impressed. Very cool. So there you have it, the Nordgreen Native with a black dial. Unfortunately, it is not a replacement of the Zeno at all, but it is a great, affordable, potential alternative to the Nomos Orion Anthracite. Thanks for watching.